The dim hum of neon lights flickered over the crowded bar, casting shifting shadows across faces from hundreds of worlds. The smell of ozone and spiced ale mingled with the metallic temps of the city beyond the viewport. Most patrons were too absorbed in their drinks or conversations to notice the tension that had just walked through the door. Commander Celine Kaur was anything but a typical patron. Under the guise of a mercenary seeking temporary work, she had slipped into this notorious hub to observe. Her mission: gather intelligence on a growing syndicate of mercenary alien coalitions known for destabilizing human colonies in the Outer Rim. But Celine wasn't just any human soldier. She was a highly trained operative of the United Earth Special Forces, chosen for missions that demanded precision, cunning, and lethal efficiency. She moved toward the bar with casual confidence, her eyes scanning every corner, every exit, every suspicious figure. Her armor was hidden beneath a loose jacket, and her sidearm disguised as a ceremonial relic from an ancient human war. She had spent years blending in among alien crowds, learning their languages, customs, even their body language. And tonight, that skill would be tested. From the far end of the bar, a hulking figure stirred from his seat. He was an alien of the Dravari species, a bipedal predator with serrated teeth and scales that shimmered deep green under the neon lights. The kind of alien that carried power in every movement, a former war hero who had fought in countless interstellar conflicts. Off duty now, he sought the oblivion of alcohol, unaware that Selena's sharp eyes had already marked him as a potential threat. He approached her with an intimidating swagger, his voice a low growl as he leaned over the bar. "You're far from your sector, human," he said, eyes narrowing, the smell of his breath tinged with fermented spices. "This isn't a place for your kind." Celine smiled, calm and collected. "I can handle myself," she replied smoothly, her tone casual but firm. Her hand rested lightly near her concealed weapon. That smile triggered something primal in the Dravari. He misread her composure as fear masking weakness. With a swift, fluid motion, he grabbed her by the jacket, lifting her slightly off her feet. The crowd gasped, tension rippling through the room. But Celine wasn't afraid. Every fiber of her being had been honed for moments like this. She felt the surge of adrenaline, analyzed the angles of his grip, and within a heartbeat, moved. Her elbow shot backward, hitting the Dravari under his jaw with the force of a mechanical strike. He staggered, surprised. Before he could recover, Celine twisted, using his own momentum to fling him against the bar's edge. Bottles crashed, sending shards of glass skittering across the floor. Chaos erupted, but she was already a step ahead. "You should leave," she warned, her voice cold now, the casual mercenary act gone. Her eyes glinted with steel, the calm intensity of someone trained to survive impossible situations. The Dravari snarled, circling her with predatory grace. He lunged, and Celine ducked, rolling beneath his strike, kicking a chair into his knees. He faltered but quickly recovered, swinging a fist that could have shattered bone. She ducked again, narrowly avoiding a crushing blow, and countered with a precise strike to his solar plexus. Forcing him backward, the bar patrons scattered, terrified, but Celine maintained her focus. Her mission wasn't to entertain or fight for pride, was to survive and neutralize threats. The Dravari underestimated humans, assuming strength and size determined combat ability. He had forgotten that humans could endure, adapt, and outthink opponents who relied solely on brute force. As the fight escalated, Selena's senses sharpened. She felt the subtle shifts in his weight, the pattern of his attacks. And then she saw it, a small, jagged scar beneath his left shoulder, marking him as part of a notorious mercenary squadron operating along the Zephyr Belt. That knowledge alone could shift the balance in her favor. She feinted a punch, drawing him forward, then twisted, grabbing his wrist and flipping him onto the floor with a move that would have looked impossible to anyone untrained. The impact sent him sprawling, dazed. Celine didn't hesitate. In a swift motion, she disarmed him, sending his weapon clattering across the floor. She held her own sidearm at his head, breathing steady, controlled. "Enough," she said, voice commanding, carrying the authority of someone who had faced countless enemies across the galaxy. "You make a grave mistake underestimating a human." For the first time, the Dravari hesitated. His eyes widened, realization dawning as he saw the emblem on her jacket, the hidden insignia of the United Earth Special Forces, the very organization he had fought against in skirmishes and covert operations. You're one of them," he stammered, disbelief and fear mingling in his guttural voice. Celine didn't lower her weapon. "I am, and you are not walking out of here alive if you continue this aggression." Silence fell in the bar, broken only by the distant hum of neon lights and the low moans of those nursing spilled drinks. The Dravaris pride wrestled with survival instinct. In the end, instinct won. Slowly, he sank to his knees, raising his hands in submission. Selena's voice softened slightly, a subtle shift that only those trained to notice could detect. "Good. Now tell me everything you know about the Syndicate's plans along the Zephyr Belt, or your friends won't recognize your face next time." He hesitated, but the threat was clear, and human determination had always been legendary. The Dravari began to speak, revealing contacts, hidden bases, and smuggling routes. Celine listened, recording every detail mentally, her mind a precise machine, analyzing for strategy and leverage. By the time the local authorities or their alien equivalent, Celine had everything she needed. She had turned an ambush into intelligence that could save hundreds of lives and cripple a dangerous operation before it could escalate. The Dravari remained subdued, but alive, thanks to her discipline as she walked out of the bar later that night. The streets quiet under the neon glow, Celine allowed herself a small smile. Humanity was underestimated far too often, but that was their advantage. They adapted, endured, and overcame, even when faced with beings far stronger, faster, and larger. The mission wasn't over. The intelligence she had gathered tonight would lead to strikes, rescues, and dismantling of criminal networks. But in that moment, as the night wind carried the scent of distant stars and alien cities, Celine felt a rare satisfaction, not from the fight, but from knowing that a single human could stand against the universe and make a difference. And perhaps, just perhaps, the galaxy was ready to learn that humans were not to be underestimated, because in every quiet bar, every dark alley, every forgotten outpost in the rim worlds, there could be another human like Celine, ready, patient, and utterly unstoppable.